tifu, telling my dad about the Karen meme. My family loves to overshare. This lack of filter sometimes has the tendency to get people into trouble because not all the information is provided, even when it's meant harmlessly. My parents are a bit older, prime okay, boomer age. I was talking to my dad the other day on the phone because his birthday dinner was a few days later. I asked how mom was doing, and he goes on to tell me a story how my mom and aunt, Karen, were at the store and the cashier made a mistake. My aunt went off on the cashier and asked to see the manager. My mom was mortified and tried to calm her down, but she wasn't having it. I then mentioned to my dad, that's such a Karen thing. He goes on to say, yeah, your aunt does that a lot. I tell him, that's the funny part. The Karen meme is a real thing. It's when an entitled, typically white, woman gets angry at the smallest mistake and asks for the manager. My dad found this hilarious, and I explain in more detail. I sent him a few links to sites explaining it online. He finds all of this hilarious, and she even has the Karen hairstyle. This sends him down the Google Images rabbit hole, and the next few days he sends me random memes of Karens doing Karen stuff, adding your aunt did this last week, or I think this one is about your aunt. This leads up to his birthday dinner with extended family. My dad's birthday dinner is going well. Everyone is having a good time, good food and drinks, etc. Suddenly my aunt, sitting a few seats down from me, leans forward and loudly shouts down the table, hey, my name. What's this whole thing about making a meme about me? I respond, huh. She then tells me my dad sent her all these memes about things she's done. He didn't give her the context that it's a generic meme from the internet and what it's about now. My aunt thinks I made all these memes about her real life events. At this point, the entire family thinks I created this meme on the internet about my aunt's antics in public. There is a back and forth discussion about it being really rude of me. She's pulling a Karen and starts chewing me out. Meanwhile, I'm looking at my dad like, WTF, back me up here. My dad finally steps in to say that this is just a random viral internet thing and that I didn't make these up behind my aunt's back. Even after explaining, she's a bit irritated. It is apparent she is embarrassed that she is so much like a Karen and couldn't tell the difference between the stories online and her own encounters. TL. Doctor, I told my dad about the Karen meme because my aunt is named Karen and acts like a Karen. My dad sends my aunt memes he found. My aunt think I made them about her. She bring it up at my dad's birthday dinner and pulls a Karen on me. Edit. Redundant sentence. Well, you could argue she did speak to his manager, the dad. I think the dad brought this to the table as a way to let the aunt know what everyone sees, and this is an attempt to rein in her behavior. Yeah. A lot of what I thought was dad being dumb stuff when I was a kid was actually a carefully thought out plan that was way out of my teenage league. She's embarrassed that she couldn't tell the difference between her life and the memes. The embarrassment. Karen is becoming self-aware. I was going to say that hopefully this leads to a moment of self-reflection and a change of behavior, but we all know this Karen is currently trying to find the internet's manager to get these libelous memes removed. This Karen is currently trying to find the internet's manager to get these libelous memes removed. And when Karen finds the internet's manager, Karen will let the manager know that Karen is friends with the internet's owner. She couldn't tell the difference between the memes and her own life. That's amazing. I hope she had some kind of revelation after that. Narrator, she did not have a revelation. This is surreal. Like, this is fucking mad funny. God, that's so awkward for her. Realizing that the memes weren't about her, but she's just exactly like all of the other Karens. And the how she acted towards you just solidified that. Fudge, it's perfect. Realizing you're exactly like a bunch of other people must be a trip. Yep. The other day I was using this fancy new thing called toilet paper. Today I found out that all my friends use it as well. The first few times I saw the Karen memes or stories I was a little offended. Now I love them. I've even used them to my advantage. I have joked with people by saying, don't make me go all Karen on you. Yes, my name is Karen, and I had the haircut, which I have since changed. Now I ask friends and family to send me any Karen memes. Sorry your aunt doesn't get it. Aunt Karen, is that you? Yes. How have you been? This should be a South Park sketch. When you're so Karen you think all the memes were made about you. I think the Karen meme is a bit overused and loses its roots. On the other hand, If someone thinks that every Karen meme is about them, that's maybe a hint to make them second guess at least some of their actions. What I take from this post is that she's become a little bit more self-aware and maybe kinda thinks about the situation somehow differently in the future before she acts. But remember, for every Karen out there, there's an anti-Karen. Someone harlot lets themselves be screwed over and doesn't voice concerns or demand compensation when it's perfectly reasonably to do so. Someone harlot lets themselves be screwed over and doesn't voice concerns or demand compensation when it's perfectly reasonably to do so. I'm in this comment and I don't like it. I feel personally attacked, but it's probably best not to make a big deal out of it. Nah man, you didn't fudge up. You brought the truth and Karen couldn't handle it. Had her a Karen being made aware of her own Karen-ness. She's gaining a level of self-awareness she didn't have before. I wonder if Karen will upgrade or evolve into a new Karen now that she sees herself reflected in this meme. That's the power of the meme. It exposed herself to herself. Now what will happen? Will she continue being a Karen even with all her behavior being so predictably displayed by a meme? What was your dad's motivation to tell her about the memes? She doesn't seem like the type of person harlot would think tifu. NNY. Did he just want to stir the pot? My mother's name was Karen, and she was kind. Wondering if there will ever be room on the internet for kind Karens, or if it will become a reverse vegan thing, where if someone's name is Karen they will never tell you about it. Send her the Karen meme now or meme website. Actually on second thought don't. I just read the page and I feel like it'll destroy her lol. Shattering her Karen ego might be the best thing to happen to her. She's pulling a Karen and starts chewing me out. I love how in the midst of her interrogation you still managed to throw in a Karen reference. My mom is a Karen, except she spells it Karen. Spipala, so someday we get Karen and other times it is a cool one with the Y. You should pay yourself on the back lol. Looks like Aunt Karen got a dose of self-awareness on Feo. Maybe your cousin Chad can explain the meme better. I want to speak to your manager. Apostrophe. / looks at dad. Shoulder doubled down and asked if she'd like to talk to your manager and had your pops back you up afterwards. Aunt Karen. We, the internet, have never heard of this until your nephew brought it to our attention. We have all been laughing at you for several weeks now. Totally his idea. I'm angry at you for pointing out that I can't act in public when someone makes a mistake is such a Karen thing to do. When she is so Karen like that she thinks the random memes from the internet are about her specifically. Wow. This reminds me of a hipster harlot complained that his picture was used to depict a typical hipster look and that not all hipsters look alike, and it turned out it wasn't even a picture of H. Imagine being so Karen you think that the internet is based around you. Would have been way funnier to go along with it and make her think she is virally famous so she stops being a shitty person. If I had an Aunt Karen like this, I would be unable to resist demanding of her that I speak to her manager. My wife is a Karen and all her friends and I send the memes to her when we find a new one. She loves it. Definitely not a prototypical Karen. I was named Karen long before this became a pejorative. It's kinda embarrassing to be associated with this, but what are you gonna do? At least I don't act like one. I told my mom she was acting like a Karen this past Tuesday at Starbucks and had to explain to her what a Karen was. That didn't stop her from calling the Starbucks we just left to complain about the barista fucking up her order, though. Honestly, I wish all the Karens of the world could be made aware of the Karen meme. Then maybe they would actually gain a bit of self-awareness and not be such horrible people to innocent employees. I'm sorry that you got caught in the middle of it though, Opus. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.